Hi guys, so today I want to talk about relocation and keeping your stuff to a minimum, creating an exit strategy. May end up as one video, may end up as two, but probably I've got a meeting coming up soon, so it won't be that long. You need to make sure if you're going down this avenue, you start off by preparing in now or before now, and start prepping for the future. So as you know, I keep my stuff to a minimum in the UK. Even this big TV, when I leave, I'll probably give it to somebody in the house. I'm not taking it with me. I'm not going to faff around with it. I got it for free. I gave my smaller TV to, which was brand new, to Denise when she came over from Spain back to the UK. Why? Well, brand new TV out the box, because somebody gave me a 100-inch TV for free. I gave her, so I paid it forward. The reason I bought a small TV is A, it works as a monitor, B, it fits in the car. Since I've done that, what you can't see is I've got a 32-inch curved Samsung monitor, fits in the car. Box is up there. The whole point is everything I've got here will fit in the car in one go. There's no faffing around, there's no backwards and forwards. It's everything goes in and I can exit. Either that or it's stuff I will leave behind for other people that I've written off. You know, I've got an air fryer downstairs. I've had a year's use out of it. If I leave, I'll probably just leave it. Anyway, so the point is, your present should be trying to make sure that you can actually move quite quickly, because it has two aspects to it. Firstly, you can move quite quickly. Secondly, it starts reducing your expenses, because if it doesn't fit in the car, do you need it? The answer is no. So do you need to spend money on it? The answer is no. This is just getting your finances into a tighter space where you're controlling more, which means you can put money in investments, you can put money towards whatever you want to do, buying a house, buying a new car, whatever you need. When I'm abroad, in the sense of working abroad, like the Middle East or whatever, everything I have fits in 1 to 2 suitcases. I say 1 to 2, can normally end up going with one and bringing 2 back, because I normally buy stuff for the family when I'm away. But the thing with that is that's all gifts and stuff, so we're not counting that, because it's not actually for me, it's for everybody else. However, the basic structure is, does it fit in the suitcase? What's the weight load? What do you need it to be to get it on an airplane? If it can't fit in that, you don't need it. That's it. That's the whole logic on it. If you can't fit it and fit it in the bag and carry everything, you don't need it. What I find with that is it also means that you can structure, if you're moving hotel to hotel on a regular basis, because everything structures. So even when I exit a hotel room, the bag goes to the door, then I start from the window of the room and do a sweep on the way out. So quick check, did I leave a phone charger? Did I leave a phone or something under the bed sheets or something? Check the bathroom, got my toothbrush, got my shaver, exit. And because you put your bag out the door, you've swept the whole room and you stood at the door with everything you've got. It's all about discipline and a bit of structure to everything, and it just makes your life easier, because there's nothing worse if you lose your toothbrush, your shaver or something, and you're going out to the desert for 6 weeks, for example. You may not have access to a shop. I've been out in some places where there is no shops, and you're hundreds of miles away. So you have to prepare that little mistakes have a knock-on effect. If you get into that discipline mode, it also means if you have other problems later, you're prepared for it. Why? Because you've got discipline. You understand what you need to get through this, and it keeps the structure solid. So doing it this way, you'll find you'll save money. Doing it this way, you'll find it's easier to control things. It's easier to process things. So like yesterday I did some videos where I was just cooking something basic. It's all in containers. I've now got a week's worth of food in the fridge. I don't have to think about cooking this week. Even though I had to go onto site this week, I've got food I can take with us. I don't have to faff around. If you can get into those modes, you can become more disciplined on a lot of other bits and pieces. Because the food's prepped, it means I don't have any food prep time this week. All my ingredients yesterday, you probably didn't, you may not have noticed if you watched videos or not, I don't add salt. I add pepper, but I don't add salt. There's no extra sugar in them. There's no colouring, no preservatives, no additives, no flavourings, nothing. It is as it is. There's no sauces as such. The most sauce I put in there was the mustard, English mustard, to give it a bit of a kick. But beyond that, what you're seeing is what I eat. It's all about the structure and discipline. And the reason that even works when you go overseas or relocate is you can start to see what you need to do to get through the week. Because a lot of the problems you will get is going backwards and forwards to supermarkets, to the building supplier, etc. A bit of process, a bit of structure can make your life so much easier. So before you go, I need to get some roll plugs from the builder's merchant. Okay, what am I doing for the next 2 weeks? Okay, we're going to fit some windows, right? Have I got the right drill bits? Have I got enough screw bits? Have I got the right screws? Do I need any? Oh yeah, I've got the roll plugs. What about some filler for around the windows? Do I need some silicone? How am I putting the glass in? Am I doing it by hand? Do I want a pair of gloves? Do I want the suction cups? Well, you go through making sure you've got everything for the task. Because if you're doing that, it cuts down on the running around, which means you do the job, you've got more time, which means life is easier. And I picked the building because you may not do any of the building work at all, but it goes through for everything else. Like even when we were doing, like years ago when we processed the paperwork for the kids for school, once you realise the schools want to know you registered at the town hall, which is the padrock, which means that you'll need, I think it's your passport and your tenancy agreement or your paperwork for the house ownership to get your padron. But once you've got your padron, you then also need the private insurance or your SIP card, which is the medical insurance, to get the kids into school. You see a pattern here. Once you understand the processes, write the processes down, because once you work through it, it makes life easier. Because in Spain, you register the kids every year. So once you know all the process, it's like bang, bang, bang. Keep life easy. Understand the process, learn it. Because a lot of people charge €200 for faffing around with paperwork. When in fact, once you know what you're doing, it doesn't take long. I see the guys doing the immigration paperwork, they'll turn up and do 16 in one go. They've already got the relationship. I'm sure some relationship is going on. Recognise the systems, recognise the problems, recognise what's going on. Once you get that in the right space, life gets easier. That's what I'm saying. Even when you're buying a house, do not go, oh, this is the one we want, this is the one we want. Stop it. Step back a bit. This is why we're looking at a lot of farms and stuff, because comparing regions, comparing accessibility, comparing costs, what do I need to do to renovate, what's the issues with it, what's the region got, because it could be on an earthquake plain, it could be, earthquake plain, in a flooding area, landslide area, could have a large bad community. I'm not going to say which communities because people get all sensitive. There could be high crime rates. There's lots of things that you do an analysis on to understand, is it worth the investment? Because you're not there all the time and you don't want to be there protecting the place. You've got to assess everything. So the decisions you should be taking shouldn't all be on a whim. It doesn't mean don't take some on a whim, because that just takes the fun out of life if you don't. But when you're doing major decisions, check everything out. When a real estate agent is telling you that you've got 5 people that are interested in the same property, it's best to get a deposit down today, just take it as a script, because it is. It's the same crap they've been saying since the 80s. Also, how long has the property been on the market and why? If it's been on there a long time, it may be a case that there's multiple owners and not all are disclosed. It may be that it's paperwork lacking, like that property we're renting in La Siesta near Torrevieja. It's down as a 1-bedroom house, a 1-bedroom flat I think it was, but it's a 4-bedroom house. All the paperwork's wrong, the taxes are wrong, everything's wrong on it. And that's quite common in Spain, because I believe what they do is they allocate the address to a plot. So the plot is 1 square meter, just to put an address to it. And this is what we're developing, because it's a cheap way of doing it. But if they're not updated after the sale, 25 years down the line, there could be back taxes and all sorts owed, because it's not a 1 meter square plot of land. It's a 4-bedroom house with a swimming pool. And that's hit a few people I know. It can be a bit of a pain to sort out. And it's weird, it's the Brits that sort it, the Spanish don't seem to care. So what's my point? Do your homework, do your preparation, don't oversell stuff, don't take on stuff that you can't deliver. Take into account you're getting older. So, I mean, the house we've got at the moment, we go up flights of stairs, and one of the things I'm looking at on the next property is that we have a ground level. It's because when we get older, don't have to go up the stairs. Simple stuff. I'm also working on not the finances today, because they're all ticking over. I'll just keep paying bills, put a bit in savings, do this. But I'm working on how do I get to a point where my finances are fully sustainable without me working. I'll still be working, because if I stop working, they'll probably kill me. But the point being is getting to a sustainable point of view. A lot of people I see online haven't thought out what happens next. You know, it's alright going getting a house in the middle of nowhere, but then what? It's okay if you both got pensions or one's got a pension, it's fine. But if the one with a pension dies, then what? Does it carry on through their spouse, or is it gone? It's worth preparing all this stuff if you're going to prepare for an exit. And it doesn't matter if it's out the UK, out or wherever, it's all just good thinking. Another thing people will talk about is, I believe, when you leave the UK, your pension stops. So if it was £50 a year, it will still be £50 next year. It doesn't go up with inflation, etc. Which I find a bit rude, considering you've already paid it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If somebody's paid it and somebody hasn't paid it, in the sense of the state pension, where somebody is getting more in their pension than they've earned in their life on an annual basis, then yeah, those twats can be locked into no rises if they go out of the country, because they've still got some work to do. But people have actually funded it and funded a lot of other people. My view is they've already paid. In fact, they've more than paid. You're just robbing them to accommodate the fact that a lot of people don't pay their way. That's just socialism at work. But anyway, that's it. 15 minutes. That's long enough for this video. Take care.